Are you ready to finally break free from overwhelm, procrastination, and burnout? If you're ready to focus on what truly matters and create momentum to reach and exceed your goals in business and in life, then this podcast is for you. Welcome to the Efficiency Advantage, the podcast where clarity meets action and purpose that fuels your progress. So here's world-class productivity expert and your host, Coach Juli.
Welcome back to the Efficiency Advantage podcast. I'm Coach Juli Shulem, and today's episode is going to discuss the real cost of disorganization, organizing, and its effect on efficiency and productivity. So I'm going to jump right in here. If you are someone who's overwhelmed, anxious, or embarrassed due to disorganization, this is the episode you've been waiting for. So today I'm going to talk all about environmental disorganization. This isn't just clutter and stuff all over that you trip over and dig through when seeking something that is long lost. This is an area that affects productivity, efficiency, focus, handling deadlines, and work quality. Not to mention, by being disorganized, you have increased stress levels, wasted time and money, and missed opportunities. So think about it. How many times have you had to search for something you know was right there just yesterday, and no amount of searching helps you find it? I'm going to tell you a story. I had a client many years ago when I was working as a professional organizer, which I did, by the way, for over 30 years. I was contracted by a client because she was unable to find things in her home office. And to be honest, it was a mess, and there were no systems in place at all. A small but what became humorous situation was when, upon going through the cabinets and the drawers and honestly all the surface areas, she was thrilled when a favorite work tool was found. But that's not the end of it. Over the course of working on decluttering this space, 3 more of the same tool was unearthed. 3 more. Here's what happened. See if you can relate. She couldn't find the original one. So she bought another one. And then not long after that one got misplaced. So she bought another one of it again. And yes, this happened another time. So she now had 4 of the same item. Can you relate? Now, this was a common occurrence among many of the people that I've worked with in the past. So this is kind of an expensive situation, and aside from frustrating and a huge waste of time. Because when she realized how much time she wasted looking for the other item, not being able to find it, having to buy another one, whether she went to a store or ordered it online, she had to wait. So this caused quite a kink in her productivity. So allow me to share some experiences with you. I've had countless clients bring me in to help eliminate clutter in their environment. Whether that was a desk piled high with papers and everything else under the sun, a filing system that was so scary and disorganized it really couldn't be called a system at all, and an office or home that was so littered with debris, papers, random items, long forgotten and unused, that they couldn't even invite guests or colleagues inside. So organizing is really a 2-pronged approach. And the way I did it when I was organizing environments professionally, and mostly that's what I did for a very long time ago, I found that aside from organizing an environment, I needed to also organize the person's mind who was in that environment, the one working in that space or living in that space. Physical organization alone doesn't create lasting change. The right systems need to be put into place, and everything you have must have a home. an appropriate place for it to go so that when you need to access it, your mind knows exactly where to go to get it. You should not have to go on an archaeological dig every time you are seeking a tool, a piece of paper, a document, a file, or a widget you need. And yes, this does translate to your digital system, but I'm going to just talk about the physical one because this is still an issue, even in today's times of trying to be more simple and trying to have a less cluttered environment. And oh my goodness, how many decades ago were we told that once we went digital, we'd have less paper? Haven't found that to be the situation. We just make more paper faster. So when you think about it, as you can imagine, this really slows down one's efficiency. So if you want to be more productive and efficient, you need to achieve an organized state of being. That means that both your home and work environments need to be clutter-free. You need to have a clear desk upon which to work and only have items that have purpose in your life within. Now, if you struggle with ADHD, this is even more important for you. Your focus is hampered by having visual clutter in your spaces. Now, we all actually suffer from that. You want to make sure that you are very diligent about getting rid of extraneous stuff in your visual arena. That means get the clutter out of the way, put things away where they need to belong. For many objects, they are, I found, left around a room because a proper task management system isn't in place. Allow me to explain. If you don't have a place to note a task that needs to be done, and there is a piece of paper, a document, or an object that is on your desk, which is reminding you to do this task, what you've done is you've created a visual task list by having all these objects out just to remind you to do them. This is not a system. It is a recipe for disaster. Having a cluttered environment is psychologically debilitating. If you want to reduce the overwhelm and stress every time you walk into your cluttered space, the only solution is to get rid of the clutter and create a better working and living environment. Now, I've had many clients who have gone from complete chaos to amazing clarity and organization within their environment. And invariably, when we've gone through their stuff and they go through and see the things that they have been holding on to for years, in most cases, they're generally shocked and realize that half this stuff, most of this stuff, should have been thrown away ages ago. So we want to work through these things at a pace and in a way that is going to be manageable. When we are faced with a vast amount of disorder in our environment, it is overwhelming. That's for everybody. I haven't met a person yet who can look at their space that's completely disorganized and say, this doesn't bother me at all. I'm not overwhelmed. No, it's overwhelming. It's stress inducing. It's anxiety inducing. You don't have to live like this. It's not good for any part of your life. It's also not good for the people who are living or working with you because it's not healthy for them either. So I'm going to lead you through a step-by-step process right now so that you can start getting on top of this if you have a disorganized environment. And I'm going to tell you a quick story before I do that. I had a client who they were interviewing me actually. It was a husband and wife, and they had just disarray throughout their entire home. And they each had, both the husband and wife, had a home office within the home. And when we started going through the space, I started making notes of the areas that were not not doing well. And aside from the woman wanting to get some clarity and consistency and really beauty within her home, we ended up realizing that aside from getting rid of the stuff, she wanted to redecorate everything. Nothing was as she wished it to be. So, knowing that, we worked on, we went through actually and looked through all the different aspects of the home. So, every room. And one of the things that was kind of funny that happened, so the husband was a little skeptical that this was even possible. And so he kind of challenged me. He said, "So, are your clothes all in color order and are your spices all alphabetized?" I said, "Yes, actually, they are. Would you like to come see?" So I called him on it. And it turned out they didn't live very far from me. I said, "Hop in my car, I'll show you." So I brought him to my home. Now, I had no time to obviously to prepare, but I do keep my spaces organized in this fashion. And you make the time to do it and it works out. So I brought him in, showed him my closet. Yeah, my clothes are all in color order categorically, and opened up my pantry. And yes, all my spices are alphabetized because then I know what I need. I know what's missing. I know where everything is. I don't have to look for something and then find out that, oh, I guess I don't have it because I can't find it, so I'll go get another one. So as soon as the husband saw that I did practice what I teach, he said, "You're hired." And I went about a very long project of completely revamping their entire home and offices. It was a massive success. They even had a renewal of vows, and they commented that I helped a lot within their marriage and their home and their lives. So it was very satisfying. So I'm going to give you the process that I give to everybody and the one that I use when I'm working with a client. So here's the step-by-step process. It's easy, but it will take some time. And you'll just have to know that, okay? So first, get a clipboard and a pad of paper and a pen. And you're going to start by just going room by room and writing down all the areas that need to be addressed in each room. This is step one. If you don't do this, you will most likely get overwhelmed because wherever you start, you will just simply worry about all the other areas you need to address. And many people become paralyzed before they even begin because of that. So you're going to want to go through each room. Let's say you're going through your office, and I just kind of go from left to right and scan around the room. Okay, we've got 3 piles on the floor under the window. We have piles of paper on the left side of the desk. We have boxes of who knows what on the right side of the desk. We have papers under the desk. We have objects we do not know why that are, so you just list each of the areas on top of the filing cabinet, on the printer, wherever you've got stuff that stuff shouldn't be, you're going to make a note of it. Next, once you've got this list, and it's going to be long and scary, so just know that you need to decide which area should be handled first. Now, you may opt for the quickest one to complete. That's fine. Whatever works for you is fine. Maybe you want to deal with the scariest one because every other space afterwards will definitely seem super easy by comparison. Or maybe there's a time sensitive reason to start in a particular area. When I was working alongside a client, I would generally work on the scariest place with them because they then saw immediate positive results. And I was going through the process with them, guiding them and making sure it got done. And it wasn't as scary when I was working with them. Now, after that experience, they often were highly motivated to move forward in another area on their own and saw that it wasn't nearly as ominous as the space we worked on together. Plus, they learned the method of how to go through papers, how to decide which objects they keep and which ones needed to be removed somehow, and how to create a home for everything that they previously didn't even know what to do with. All right, so that's step one. Now, there are a few tricks that I will share with you here to make this go well if you decide to attempt the task on your own. First, schedule time in your calendar every day to chip away at the clutter. This did not get created in a day, nor will it be removed in a day. So be intentional about doing that. When I speak on organizing, one of the things I say to people is schedule 30 minutes. Just schedule 30 minutes every day. That will be 3.5 hours every week. You probably weren't doing anything. And now you've got 3.5 hours a week scheduled to start getting rid of the clutter. That will have significant impact if you just stay consistent with it. Now, if you happen to have an entire day and you got the energy and wherewithal to do it, great, go for it. I will tell you that the majority of the time, I found about a 3-hour limit was where most people kind of hit a wall. So don't be overly enthusiastic and think that you're going to get a lot done in a day. You might burn out. We don't want that to happen. I want you to be able to go back to it. So make sure that you're using a reasonable period of time to do this and not ending up giving yourself a big deadline or a big expectation and then end up falling short, because then what you've done is you've created a feeling of failure. And if you do that, the likelihood of going back to that job, to that task is lessened. So we want to make sure that you have the motivation to go back to it. So here's what I recommend you do. You're going to set a timer. After you schedule it in your calendar and you've got the time and you've sat down, you're going to sit and work on a space, whatever that is. You're going to set a timer, and you're going to set a timer for 30 minutes. That's what you've scheduled. Go for it. Now, the timer is going to go off. When the timer goes off, you are excused. You have succeeded. You have done the job in the 30 minutes you allocated. This is wonderful. The job needs to be something that is doable. And the thing is that you're not going to finish it in 30 minutes. You won't finish the task, but you will do the time. You will finish the time. And that is the success we're looking for. Then you will be more motivated to come back to it because you have success associated with that. You did 30 minutes. Awesome. Now, let's say you have extra time and you're really on a roll and you want to continue doing more. Great. That's wonderful. Set time again for 20 minutes. And you can set a timer for 20-minute increments repeatedly, but know that every time that timer goes off, when you feel you have had enough, you succeeded. Walk away. Now, if you want to make a little note as to where you left off and where you want to start next time, go for it. It's a great, great thing to do so that you don't have to sit and figure it out and waste time thinking about it and figuring it out again. So leave yourself a little note. Start here. Okay? A second little tip. Play high energy music while you're decluttering. This actually kind of keeps your motivation going. It'll keep you moving at a faster pace generally, and it makes the time pass easily. So it's a great way of keeping you motivated and going. Some people say, okay, I'm going to do 3 songs worth. That's great. Songs 3 to 5 minutes. So if that works for you, that's fine too. All right. So I'm going to stop here. And next episode, I'm going to teach you some more details about how to go about the actual process of decluttering and organizing and clearing out spaces. If you want to learn more about organizing, please let me know by going to askjuli.com, and Juli is Juli, and pose a question or a request, and I will do my very best to answer in an upcoming episode. All right, thank you so much for listening. Please follow, please like, please share this podcast with people that you know. And I look forward to talking to you the next episode. Have a productive day.
So that's it for today's episode of The Efficiency Advantage. Head on over to Apple Podcasts, iTunes, or wherever you listen and subscribe to the show. One lucky listener every single week that posts a review on Apple Podcasts or iTunes will win a chance in the grand prize drawing to win a private VIP day with Coach Juli herself. Be sure to head on over to theefficiencyadvantage.com and pick up a free copy of Coach Juli's gift and join us on the next episode.